Celtics fans, welcome in to Boston Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I am Will Scott. We got some Celtics news and rumors for you on today's show. Of course, a lot to discuss after last night's loss. But before we get into my reaction from that loss, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Help us get to 14,000 subscribers. We've got you covered on all things Celtics all the time. So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you are all about the C's. What was that last night? Very, very surprising and disappointing loss in Game 5. Closeout game at home. You lose 119-117 to Atlanta as the Hawks survive and force a Game 6 tomorrow night in the ATL. Trae Young hit the game-winning shot, 1.5 seconds left, 38 points, 4 rebounds, 13 assists for Trae. John Collins had 22 points, 2 boards, 9 of 18 from the field. Bogdanovic had 18 and 6. Jayson Tatum, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 1 of 10 from 3, just inexcusable. Jaylen Brown was one of the few bright spots, 35.7 rebounds, 15 of 23 from the floor in the losing effort. And then Malcolm Brogdon, 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 made shots. This loss was inexcusable. You're up 3-1 against an inferior opponent. You have a chance to close this thing out at home in front of your home fans, move on to Philadelphia. Atlanta is without DeJounte Murray, who was the best player for them in the first 4 games of this series. And you lose. You lose. That just cannot happen. And now you're having to go to Atlanta to play a Game 6 in front of their home fans. I mean, that's going to be a tough place to play. They have momentum now. The last thing you want if you're the Celtics is for this series to go to a 7th game. This is the first round for a team that, expects to win a championship. You don't want to be in a situation where it's win or go home in round 1. What's your frustration level after last night's loss? Scale it 1 to 10 down in the comments. For me, it's 10. That's just not a game you should have lost. And the Celtics had a comfortable lead, blew it, let the Hawks back in the game. Hawks take it in the end with the Trae Young shot, made it from near the logo. But scale it 1 to 10. What is your frustration level after last night's loss? It is the pinned comment on today's video. So reply to it when an ad break comes. Now Atlanta has life. This is a team that all of a sudden is right back in the series. They're down 3-1, kind of looking like this thing was a wrap. DeJounte Murray, after he was suspended, I'm sure was on a flight to Cabo last night, when he's like, oh, shoot, we got to turn this thing around and go to Atlanta. I think most people thought this series was over. Again, you have a comfortable lead, you blow it, and now Atlanta's in a situation where if they win Game 6 at home, they force a Game 7. And again, you do not want to be in that position if you're Boston. You got bigger fish to fry. You're going to have face harder teams. I think the frustrating thing is, like, the Celtics just lose games that they should not be losing. It's been a theme here the last several weeks. So now we look ahead to Game 6, which is Thursday, tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time at State Farm Arena in Atlanta. The Celtics are 6.5-point favorites. The total is at 231. So the Hawks, again, have a shot here to try to extend the series. They're going to be in front of their home fans, and DeJounte Murray is going to be back. I don't even think Atlanta expected to force Game 6 because Janet Jackson was supposed to have a concert tomorrow night in Atlanta, and they're having to move that back to play this game. So not even the Hawks expected to be playing a Game 6 here. I surely didn't think the series was going to go this far either. You just got to take care of business. You got to have a short memory here. Put Game 5 in the rearview mirror. Play your best basketball in Game 6 in this series, and then move on to face Philadelphia. You can make your picks for the Philly game with Underdog Fantasy. Keep the fantasy fun going with Underdog Fantasy, the simplest and most rapidly expanding fantasy sports app around. In their pick'em game, you can select between 2 and 5 players and predict if they'll achieve higher or lower stat totals in their upcoming games for a chance to score big. Plus, try out their rivals picks to pit 2 players against each other. Don't wait. Sign up with promo code CHATBOS to double your first deposit up to $100 at chatsports.com/underdog Celtics or in the App Store. Must be 18 plus and in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Taking a look at my picks for tomorrow night, I got Jayson Tatum higher than 30.5 points. I think he bounces back after he struggled in Game 5. And then Robert Williams, I have him higher than 12.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I think he's going to have a big game. And we've seen time and time again, he can be the difference maker for this Boston Celtics team. Then Trae Young, I have lower than 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I don't think he's going to be the Trae Young that we saw in Game 5. I think the Celtics slow him down. Those are my picks. Go and make yours at chatsports.com/underdog. Celtics promo code CHATBOS to double your first deposit up to $100. That link, that promo code in the comments and the description of today's video. Let's get into my keys to victory for this game. Number one, start fast. You do not want to give Atlanta life early. You want to take the crowd out of this game because right now Atlanta believes they're back in the series. Keep your foot on the gas as well. Start fast. Do not let them get back in this game because when the Hawks have won games in this series, the Celtics have gotten off to a fast start, but they've let the Hawks back in the game, and the Hawks have won the game. You got to keep your foot on the accelerator if you're the Celtics tomorrow night. And then number three, it's got to be Jayson Tatum playing better. When Jayson Tatum is Jayson Tatum, the Celtics win basketball games. They do not lose very often when Tatum scores higher than 30 points. Jayson Tatum is the best player on the floor. He needs to play like it tomorrow night. And then number four is control the glass. I think if you're the Celtics, you got to get more rebounds than the Hawks. Clint Capella is going to be a tough matchup. You got to be able to control the glass, specifically the offensive boards. And then number five, slow down Trae Young. I think that when you look at Trae Young, he's a good player. I don't think anybody is denying that. Call him overrated, do whatever you want. The guy's a good player. You have got to slow him down because if he plays like he did in Game 5, there might be a Game 7. Who do you got? Type BOS for the Celtics or ATL for the Atlanta Hawks down in the comments section. Type BOS or ATL. Let me know who you got down in the comments section. I'm going to go with the Celtics, 119-113. I think they take care of business on the road. It's going to be a close game. We're probably going to be sweating a little bit. But I think Boston takes care of business and advances to the Eastern Conference semifinals. I can't stress the importance of tomorrow's game enough. You got Philadelphia waiting for you. They swept the Nets. They have a lot of rest. I mean, regardless of what happens tomorrow, this Philadelphia team is going to be more well-rested than Boston. Take care of business. You do not want to be in a situation where you're facing the Atlanta Hawks in Game 7 in the first round. You don't want to be like the Bucks and have an elimination game in the first round. We'll see if the Bucks season ends tonight. Before we end today's show, Ime Udoka, the former Celtics head coach, has been formally introduced as the new Houston Rockets head coach. He had his introductory press conference today in H-Town, and no surprise, he was asked about his controversial exit in Boston. Here's what he said about that. I released a statement months ago when everything happened and apologized to a lot of people for the tough position I put them in. I stand by that, and I feel much more remorse even now towards that. I spent this last offseason working on myself in a lot of different ways, improving in areas with a chance to sit back, reflect, and grow. I think that will make me a better coach and a better leader. But the matter has been resolved, and I can't really speak much about it. They had a chance to make a decision, the Celtics, and they went that route. My thing was to own up to it, take responsibility, and I served the suspension. I had to own it honestly. Same thing that I preach to the guys. I can't sit here and not take accountability myself. It's obviously disappointing the way it ended with Ime Udoka in Boston. Thought he was going to be the Celtics head coach for a long time. Led the Celtics to the finals in his first season. Was really well liked by the players, and they played for him. So I wish Ime the best and hope he does well. He screwed up. He knows he screwed up. I'm sure the Rockets, had some conversations with him before hiring him, making sure that nothing like that's ever going to happen again. So I hope Ime does well in Houston. I really do. Wish him all the best. You've heard Jayson Tatum. You've heard Jaylen Brown and others on the Celtics team still talk very highly of him. So hopefully he succeeds in Houston and has a good run over there with the Rockets. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/CelticsTV. Going to have you covered with more Celtics news throughout the playoffs.